Just take a moment and notice your inhale and your exhale. No judgments, just invite the fullness of the inhale and the slowing slightly of the exhale. Notice any tension around the facial muscles. Feel them soft, relaxed. And maybe with that deeper inhale, you feel that spine grow just slightly more. And with that exhalation, let those tops of the shoulders release down slightly more. And then your next exhalation, letting the head down slightly. You say it all the time, letting the active mind look in the direction of your peaceful heart, your compassion. And we'll slowly up and rise, and we'll get started. So just a couple of our usual openers, if you will. Interlace your fingers, really work them in the web, palms toward me, and head up. Feel that length of the side ribs. Head may bow slightly forward. And then we'll start to release those hands. We'll bring the right hand down, lengthen up to those left fingertips again on the inhale and exhale, gently coming up. Always supportive with the right hand support. Feel that left shoulder maybe open back slightly. And then we'll switch sides. Left hand is the plant, hand down. Nice big inhale again, right fingertips lift up and over. Now it's that right shoulder, maybe slightly back. And lifting up to those right fingertips, we'll bring the hand down. We'll change the clasp, palms toward me, once more heading up. Breath nice and slow. And repeating what we did the other time, but we'll switch sides. So left hand will be the plant side. Right inhale up the hand. Exhale and over. Right shoulder happy. It may come back slightly more. Head does what it wants to do. Be safe with that. And lifting up to the right fingertips. Now the right hand's the plant hand. Left fingertips lift up and over. And left shoulder may open slightly back. Happy with the head. And we'll bring ourselves up and bring ourselves down. If you will, bring the bottom of the feet together. Baddha Konasana here, sitting on any support you need. We'll bring our hands behind us, either fingertips or palms down, whatever works for you. Bring the shoulder blades together and let that chest lift up. And we'll safely bring ourselves up. Now the hands are out for support for a flat back forward bend. So keep that flat back. Start to come forward till you find an edge. If you're more of a forward bender, it may be a little bit deeper. Be kind. Nice big inhale again. And as you exhale, maybe those fingertips walk away from you. Maybe walking in my direction if you're watching me. And let the back round. Once more, happy with your head position. And then we'll bring ourselves up. Assist the knees to come up. We'll extend them forward. Dandasana, staff pose. To see how the hamstrings feel at this point. Heels reaching forward, toes coming toward you. Just a general rotation of the legs. So let both sets of toes go to your right. Keeping support beside you, tall spine. Toes come up toward the ceiling. Now toes come toward the left. Back up toward the ceiling. Now the toes come down towards the floor. Pull that stretch across the tops of the feet. And then the opposite way, you may feel a little calf. So the toes are now going to come toward you. And we'll repeat that one more time. Let the toes go to your left. Coming up toward the ceiling to your right. Back up toward the ceiling, now toward the floor. Forward. And then once more, the toes come toward you. Feel that little hamstring. And from here, just to visit the hamstring again, hands safely beside you, come to you flat back till you find a little edge. Not going to a full forward fold here. We're just finding a little hamstring opener. So think about the tops of the thighs working, engaged. And then once more, if you want to come a little bit further, it's all up to you here. Breathing deep. Inner thighs rolling down. And then we'll safely bring ourselves up. Okay, so we'll now start with a little supported back bend. So not knowing what you have at home, hopefully you've got a couple blankets, and this will be the blanket roll. If you want to, depending on what you have, and depending on how you feel about this, studio-wise, a lot of times I'll say we'll start with one and then we'll repeat and go a little bit deeper. But just in the interest of time today, we're going to just do the one here. So, as you also want to have some support for the head as you bring yourself down. And as a reminder, of course, the blanket roll comes across the middle chest, not the lower back, and not across the neck. So, as you bring yourself down, I recommend highly that the knees are bent and you kind of see how things are. You'll know, many of you probably been out in the yard working, maybe the front of the chest is a little tighter, and then you start to let the head come back. And this is where you don't want to feel like the chin is jutting up too far up toward the ceiling. You do want to have a dome of the chest, however. Arms can be out by the side. As you're into this more, arms may come into full body stretch arms. You don't want them to hang. So especially if you go to full body stretch arms, if you've got some more support, maybe build up the floor to you if the arms are hanging, or keep them by your side, or once more, the letter T. So this is nice supported back bend over your blanket roll. So as you settle into this, the legs may start to straighten out. Now, many times when we come into a pose like this, the monkey mind starts. So take it back to the breath. Nice big inhale, nice slow exhale. A little mantra, I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling, wonderful. You may have one of your own. And notice how your blanket support is. If you're miserable, it's always an option to come out and make the blanket roll smaller. You say, I want a little bit more, come out and make the blanket roll a little bit deeper. This is for you. A lot of people call these chest openers or heart openers. And that's what we're going for here. We're trying to think if you had sandbags, I would be coming around right now and just placing them on tops of your shoulders. And if you could just visualize that,
And just that general weight there, let the tops of the shoulders release down towards the floor. I'm not asking you to have active legs here. Let the legs be relaxed. And in these poses, we're going to be here 5 to 8 minutes, somewhere in there. Anytime you need to come out earlier, please do. And to come out in this, not coming out yet, but if you need to, of course, bending the knees, gently rolling to a side, pulling that blanket roll away, and then laying flat to allow the back to reacclimate. So I'm going to be quiet for a few moments here. Be with your breath. With each exhalation, feel that chest open more. Tops of the shoulders releasing down.
Now it's important to come out of these restorative poses very slowly. So take a moment and let the breath inhale and slowly exhale. We want to gently roll to a side. I'll let you pick it. Kind of move that support that you had under yourselves and kind of move it to a side and lay back down for just a moment. Knees bent, perfect option, might feel a little better. And with the knees bent, just let the knees go slightly side to side a couple times, like you do when you come out of Shavasana. And then we'll gently move to a side once more. And support yourself as you bring yourself up. So our next one will be the kind of a Queen's Pose variation. So once more, not knowing what you may have at home, maybe using books, you may have some blocks, you may have a bolster, you may have blankets. What kind of works for you? And what I'm going for here is the torso itself is going to have a little incline to it. I want you to have support from the back of the body to allow that, feeling that support, allow once more those top to the shoulders, release away, that chest and that heart open again. So your setup may be, if you do have a bolster, this is kind of nice little setup here. If you have blanket, of course, for head support, if you feel that you need to do that. And also want to give you the option of what you may want to do with your legs. So in this pose, sometimes people like to have a little support under the knees, a roll blanket under the knees. These are with the legs that are straight. You want to feel some softness there. Some people like to bring themselves into Baddha Konasana, and of course roll blanket around, have a little support here to where you may not be as open as you normally might be in this because you want to let the deep inner muscles relax. So palms facing up is a nice one. If you feel like a little support of the arms is what you need, once more, kind of making this to where it's really going to feel good for you. So I'll give you a moment here to have your setup for your kind of variation of Queen's Pose. This should feel good. So always the permission to, as you come into the pose, and if it doesn't feel right, make the change. Just takes a moment to make that change to where you can enjoy the benefits of what the support is giving to your body. And then as you settle in, it's so important to take it back to the breath. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling, might be that mantra you're using or whatever it might be, to kind of let the monkey mind be at ease. Kind of make that scan of the facial muscles once more. Seeing, are they relaxed? Are they soft around the eyes, around the ears? Feeling the tongue release down. As I mentioned earlier, this might be where if you're a little chilly, maybe a little blanket over yourself to have some warmth. Deepening your next inhale. And with your slow exhalation, once more, just a few slight movements here. Respectful of your position, we want to do the same thing we did earlier. We want to gently move to a side, kind of push everything away, and lay back flat for just a moment here. Once more, let the back body reacclimate. Letting those knees bend again, slightly side to side a couple times. And letting that movement move you to a side. And we'll gently bring ourselves up. So the next one is the openness through the side ribs. We'll do one side and then we'll do the other. So just want to show, I'll show with the bolster. Those have probably seen this many times in classes. So if whatever your support is, if you're using blankets, maybe, depending on how deep you want to go into this, maybe some books there and then maybe a couple of blankets, somewhere where you want to get a support, because you want these side ribs to go. And as they do, I like to have my knees bent, little support between the knees. Feels pretty good for me. Sometimes I'll see students with straight legs with this, and I think it's important to have the knees bent, because that way the legs are not active and they can relax. And what is important also is for the head. The head does not hang. So you may need some support under the head, another blanket. And then give you a little freedom here, what you want to do with the arms. Some people like to extend the upper arm away and pull that, gently pull with that. With the bowing on the side ribs, these side ribs will open up a little more. Some people like to pull from the lower hand. So whatever that works for you, that's just a suggestion. Be respectful of any shoulder issues. Shoulder issue, maybe the upper arm just stays by the side. So here we go. So if you will, bring your right side against your propping. And then feel those side ribs open as you come into your pose here. The right side, of course, being on the floor, it says left side ribs. With the bowing, they're just opening up. Taking it back to that breath, that mantra you've chosen today, maybe that I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. Breath, nice and deep and slow. So we'll do this side for a few minutes here, and then I'll bring you out and we'll make our switch to the opposite side. So you want to safely come out of this side here. As you do bring yourself out, you want to support, letting the head be the last thing that comes up. And we'll make our change. So you can switch sides, and now the left side will be the one on the floor. And the right side ribs will get their chance to open up. And bringing your awareness back to the moment here. And we'll start to exit this pose here. So next on the list is our inversion part. Talked about that in the beginning. This is where you want to decide if you're Viparita Karani, legs up the wall, might be the way you would like to go, or those that may have a chair. Just want to, with the chair option, just remind that the legs are not straight. As we talked about earlier, with the legs working like this, their relaxation may be a little bit harder. So you want to have a little bend in the knees. This is another one where the head, the chin does not need to be jutting up toward the ceiling. If you need to have a little support under, blanket support under the head, adding that in. Arms open up. Palms up is a pretty good idea, in my opinion. And this is a very, very nice supported, restorative pose, because the body goes into different things, meaning the legs are above the heart, so the body tells the heart to slow down.
Wonderful way to really bring the awareness back to the breath as you release into this. Now, legs up the option, people. If you, whatever your setup for your Viparita karate, support under the hips, nice way to do that, or, flat, whatever. A lot of people like to practice that pose different ways. So here you go. One of my teachers a while back called this instant Maui. And just take yourself away to the beach. To the classroom. Going back to that nice full range of breath. Gently bringing yourself back to the moment. You may be in different positions, but we want to come out slowly. So whichever one you're in, just bend the knees. Same thing we've done before, letting the knees go slightly side to side. Gently rolling to a side. Get down there a few moments, so take a moment. And then if you are using a chair, you might want to just gently move the chair away, because our last pose is everybody's favorite Shavasana. So got a lot of propping around probably. I want you to be very comfortable with this. Maybe a roll blanket under the knees. If you got chilly, talked about that earlier, maybe putting a blanket over you. And of course, the blanket for the head support if you usually use that. So as you start to bring yourself into your corpse pose, maybe pressing the elbows in the floor, feel the shoulder blades to come slightly, and then let the hands just open up away. Notice the left side and the right side of the body. Do they feel balanced? Any subtle changes you need to do to where you're comfortable. And with each exhalation, feel yourself just drop into the floor. Arms and legs completely relaxed. Facial scan again. Softness around the eyes, around the forehead, around the ears. Relaxing that tongue down. Jaw relaxed. And then we'll be with the wave of our breath. The mind comes into play, take it back to that breath. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling.
Gently deepen your next inhale. And slowly exhale. As you bring yourself back to the moment here, gentle movement of the fingers. Open and close the fingers. The toes join in. And we'll bend one knee at a time. Gentle rocking motion, bringing slight movements back to ourselves. Gentle side to side a couple times here. We'll gently move to a side. And letting the head be the last thing to come up as you support yourself, bringing yourself up. And we'll come to a seated position once more. If you will, bring your hands to your hearts. Feel those thumbs at your heart center. Find peace, find gratitude, find love. Let's put it out there. And namaste.